Okay, I want to do a quick preface before I start talking. These videos are not meant to be advice in any way. I'm not trying to convince you to think a certain way. I'm not trying to tell you how to live. I don't want it to seem like that. I'm making these because I want to have a recorded like collection of my thought process about different things for myself, and then I felt like I wanted to share because I feel that a lot of people might have these same thoughts that I do, and maybe they don't necessarily um, express it in any way. So I feel like me sharing this is a way for them to look at something and be able to connect with it, or agree with an idea I say, or even disagree with an idea I say, and learn something from it. That's my goal. Is I want to just have these ideas and thoughts out there. All right, I wanted to talk about my experience with social anxiety. I feel like a lot of people, it's a very common thing. Um, I feel that I'm a very introverted person in general, so I think I have a little bit of a different view than what I assume most people have, where they're scared of what will happen in a certain interaction. Like if they go up and talk to somebody, they're scared of what could happen. I'm not necessarily scared of what could happen, but I tend to think about it in a way where I think I know what's most likely to happen. So then, if that thing that I pretend is most likely to happen is something I don't like, I just avoid that conversation, or I avoid that interaction altogether. Um, which isn't a good thing. I wouldn't necessarily call it exactly social anxiety, because I don't get like an anxious or nervous energy when I go and talk to people. I feel very myself, and I feel very calm when I do. But one thing I need to work on is just having the conversation, because I'm not scared to have it. I just avoid it because I pretend I know what will happen, and when I don't want that thing to happen, I don't do it. Reason we have social anxiety is because we are scared of certain situations. So we use our social anxiety as a sort of like barrier to help in our mind, help prevent ourselves from harm or an uncomfortable situation. And I feel like that's very much the case with me. I feel like the way I avoid social confrontation, I kind of like put up these walls of what I assume will happen in order to protect myself from a situation I might not want to happen, or a conversation I don't want to have. And then once I put those walls up, in my head it's to protect myself, but in reality I'm sort of imprisoning myself with those walls. I'm making myself stuck in that frame of mind where I don't want to have this conversation because I think this will happen and I don't want that to happen. When in reality, even if the of what I think is going to happen actually does, I'll never know unless I try it. Same thing with the anxiety part. You will never truly know until you try it. And the fear of it going wrong is not protecting yourself, it's denying yourself of what could happen. And I think what could happen might not necessarily be good 100% of the time, but if you don't shoot at that, you're never gonna like hit the target at all, right? So you could either, like, if you're using, like, pretend it's like darts, right? You could have your dart and you could line it up and you could do all the mathematics, get the angle right, throw it, and get perfect bullseye, but you never throw it because you're scared that your math is wrong. Or you could do the opposite, where you just eyeball it, chuck it, see what happens. If you miss the bullseye, oh well. If you hit it, then you succeed. I think it's a very like I feel I'm very stuck in my way, where I now that I pretend I have the walls that are there to help me and there to prevent something I don't want to happen, uh, I never look like past that wall whenever there's a conversation that could happen or an interaction that could happen. I'm looking at it from like around my wall, and I'm not taking the wall down and seeing it for what it is. I think the only way that I'm going to be able to improve on that is just taking those walls fully down, and it will lead to me being uncomfortable. It will lead to me being sad, but in doing so, it's also leading me to outcomes that I want, but I never go after. Without that chance of whatever it might be, that chance of rejection, that chance of disapproval, you will never be able to achieve what is truly yours and what you're truly capable of, because you're holding yourself back. You put those walls up to protect yourself, and then now that you're stuck in those walls, you have nowhere to go. I think it's important to have like things like boundaries. Like boundaries is a version of what I'm thinking about when I say like a wall. But in my eyes, I think a boundary would be sort of like a roadblock in a way, right? Where it's like it's there and it can prevent things from going over, but also you can still look over it and you could see whatever it is for how it is. It doesn't obscure your vision at all. It can prevent and block things while also having that clear view of the outside. And then also, if you're looking at it like one of those roadblocks, if you see something on the outside and you want to go get it, you want to go chase it, you want to go achieve it, because the roadblock is not fully built up, you can get over that roadblock. You can use those walls and use those boundaries to help protect yourself, but also it's not prohibiting yourself from going outside of those boundaries. I think I do a disservice to myself because there's lots of like things I want to do or people I want to talk to or conversations I want to have that I think would benefit me, but I'm reluctant to try and chase it just because of the thought that it probably won't happen. So why would I spend my time and energy chasing that thing, even if it's something that I want? I think once I start practicing and getting better at taking risks and putting myself outside of these barriers I've created, I think I will be able to truly start enjoying other people. It's not something that I get like anxious about or fearful about, but it's just something that it doesn't feel like fulfilling to me. But I know that there are ways that it can be fulfilling to me, but I am not willing to take that extra step in order to push that conversation or interaction or whatever it may be into something that would be fulfilling for myself. I think that trying to film myself talk about different things is a way that I'm stepping over that line of I think about this stuff and I want to talk about it, but it's really hard to sit down with one person and just talk to them directly about it. So this is a way I can kind of do it where I don't have that instant reaction of another person, and also I can think things all the way through in my head before sharing them. All those little like things that I can do to a recording that I can't do face to face helps me take that first step of having more social interactions. I think the videos and me sharing in this way is like me very cautiously stepping outside of what I'm comfortable with in a way that is still manageable for myself. I want these to be little unedited as possible, but also I have a big problem with getting my thoughts into words. So this is kind of a challenge for me where I want it to be almost as one full thought process as possible, where there's no gaps in between. But I'm limited by my ability to put into words that entire thought process. I feel that even though I'm very introverted, I seek social connection. Um, I want to have social connection. I think we all need it. We're very social creatures. And I think people find it in different ways. And for me, it's through a very small group of people that I feel very close to. The more I think about it, I don't think that's bad that I have these like 3 or 4 people that I share all my thoughts with and I spend all my time with. I don't think that's bad. I think that's very important to have people that you have that strong connection with. But what I'm wanting to do is have more people outside of those that I am able to not have a super strong connection with, but any connection at all. I feel like I limit myself. In my head, it's because it's good for me. In reality, I don't think it is, but I limit myself to those people that I'm very comfortable with. And I don't go out and seek anybody new, which is keeping me in this cycle of I'm not able to grow, I'm not able to expand my ideas, I'm not able to go out and meet new people that maybe I would mesh with really well, and maybe I'd enjoy their presence a lot because of my choices and my decisions on how I choose my interactions. We tend to twist it in a way that helps us handle it better. I do this a lot. I'm not very good at this, but I feel that a lot of situations, I don't take it for how it is in reality. I want to change it in a way that makes it easier for me to digest, and I feel like that is not the correct way of going about it. I am making myself have interactions or conversations that do not help me. So I'm preventing ones that are possible that could lead to something good, and I'm gravitating towards ones that I feel like I can make different when in reality I can't. And I think that this is another big part of why we make these walls, is because we want to feel comfortable, and using these walls to kind of filter through conversations and interactions we have with people. In our heads, we can filter all those bad things that we didn't want to happen, and then we can view it in a way that we want to, or vice versa, where whatever actually happened, we filter it through a lens of something negative, where you want to try and point out things that were bad or point out things that didn't go well, just so you reinforce that idea of, oh, I shouldn't do this. I think it's really important to look at things objectively and try to not use our own emotion all the time when it comes to looking back at our interactions or conversations or whatever it may be. You can never go inside a person's head and know their true intentions. Even if they say it out loud, there's no 100% guaranteed way for you to truly know. I think you need to look at whatever it may be and process it in a way that benefits you but does not twist the reality of the interaction. The more I do these, the better I'll get at talking to the camera. This is very new to me. This is not something I've done before. I do a lot of writing, I do a lot of journaling. And then when I'm doing that, it's very different from this, because I can take like an hour conversation I have in my head and I can write it down in like 5 paragraphs and just summarize it all. And I feel like when I'm just talking out loud like this, it is not as easy to take those ideas and put them into words on the spot, and that's what I'm trying to do. So as I do more of these, I'll get better at just one take all the way through, which is my goal for this. That's why I wanted to start these, is because I feel like I'm not good enough at conveying my thoughts and ideas. Bye-bye.